I've always wondered if anyone else carries a secret as heavy as mine. Sometimes, when I'm alone in my bedroom at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling fan spinning endlessly, I wonder how many others are lying awake, haunted by their past like I am. My name is Sarah Mitchell, and I'm 32 now, happily married to David for 6 years. We live in a cozy suburban house in Connecticut, with our golden retriever Max and a beautiful garden I tend to every weekend. From the outside, we're the perfect American family. But perfection is often a carefully constructed facade, isn't it? The year was 2006, and I was 16 when everything changed. I still remember that humid August afternoon when Mom told me she was getting remarried. We were sitting in our small kitchen in Boston, the one with the yellow curtains Dad had picked out before he passed away from cancer 3 years earlier. The ice in my lemonade clinked against the glass as my hand trembled. "His name is Richard," Mom said, her eyes sparkling with a happiness I hadn't seen since Dad died. "And he has a son, James. He's 18. I remember thinking how unfair it was that she could smile like that again while I was still struggling to accept Dad's empty chair at our dinner table. The kitchen suddenly felt smaller, suffocating. 2 weeks later, Richard and James moved in. James was tall, with dark hair and green eyes that seemed to hold secrets. He had this way of moving through spaces quietly, like he was trying not to disturb the air around him, so different from the loud, confident boys at my high school. Do you know that feeling when you're trying so hard to hate someone, but they make it impossible? That was James. He would leave coffee on the counter for me every morning, knowing I had early debate team practice. He'd fix my bike chain without being asked. Small gestures that carved away at my resistance. The first time something shifted between us was during a power outage that October. Mom and Richard were at a wedding in New Hampshire, and we were alone in the house. The storm had knocked out the electricity, and we sat on the living room floor, surrounded by candles, playing cards and sharing stories. "Do you miss your mom?" I asked him, watching the candlelight dance across his features. He paused, shuffling the cards. "She left when I was 10. Can't miss someone you barely remember." That vulnerability, that shared understanding of loss, created a bridge between us that shouldn't have existed. Weeks passed, and our interactions became charged with something dangerous. Lingering glances across the dinner table. Accidental touches that didn't feel accidental at all. The house became a maze of moments we shouldn't have shared. Would you have walked away? It's easy to judge from the outside, isn't it? The first kiss happened in December, in the garage while we were looking for Christmas decorations. It was wrong, we both knew it, but knowledge doesn't always translate to action. That kiss led to more stolen moments, in empty rooms, in the shadows of our shared home, in the spaces between right and wrong. For 6 months, we lived in a world of whispers and secrets. Every creak of the floorboards was a potential discovery. Every family dinner was an exercise in acting. We became experts at avoiding each other's eyes, while simultaneously being hyper-aware of each other's presence. But guilt is a persistent companion. It followed me to school, sat with me at meals, and whispered in my ear at night. I watched Mom humming while cooking dinner, saw how happy she was with Richard, and felt the weight of our betrayal crushing my chest. The end came abruptly. James got accepted to UCLA, and the distance gave us both the escape we needed but couldn't create for ourselves. The day he left, he hugged me like any stepbrother would hug his stepsister, and we silently agreed to bury those months in the past. Now, 15 years later, I see him only at family gatherings. He's married too, living in California with his wife and 2 kids. We're cordial, distant, playing our roles perfectly. Sometimes our eyes meet across crowded holiday dinners, and I see the same shadows I carry. David sleeps peacefully beside me as I write this, his breathing steady and trusting. He knows nothing of that year, of those moments that still haunt me. How could I tell him? How do you tell someone you love that you're not as worthy of their love as they think? I often wonder about the other houses on our street, about the secrets they hold behind their perfectly painted doors and manicured lawns. Are there others like me, carrying the weight of their past sins while trying to build a better future? To those who judge, you have every right. But to those who understand, who carry their own unspoken memories, know that you're not alone in your midnight contemplations. Sometimes I drive past our old house in Boston. The yellow curtains are gone, replaced by modern blinds. New people live there now, unaware of the stories those walls contain. I wonder if they ever feel the echoes of our secrets in the quiet corners of that house. Life moves forward as it should. I'm a different person now. A wife, a marketing executive, a woman who volunteers at the local animal shelter every other weekend. I've built a life I'm proud of, but that doesn't erase the past. It just teaches you to live with it. James and I made a choice that summer, a wrong one, born out of loneliness, confusion, and the complex emotions of two broken teenagers trying to find connection in the wrong places. We've both paid for it with years of guilt and self-doubt. To the reader who's made it this far, thank you for bearing witness to my confession. Perhaps sharing this burden makes it lighter, or perhaps it just spreads the weight across more shoulders. Either way, it feels necessary, like finally exhaling after holding your breath for too long. As I finish writing this, the sun is rising over Connecticut. David will wake up soon, kiss me good morning, and head to his law office. I'll water my garden, feed Max, and go about my day like any other person in any other suburb in America. Life goes on, carrying our secrets with it. But sometimes, in the quiet moments between responsibilities and routines, I still feel 16, standing in that garage with snowflakes melting in my hair, making a decision that would echo through the rest of my life. They say time heals all wounds, but I think that's not quite right. Time doesn't heal. It just teaches you how to carry your wounds more gracefully. To anyone out there carrying their own unspoken memory, I see you. We're all just trying our best to be better than our past selves, aren't we?